Blood of the Dead is one of the worst Call of Duty zombie maps ever made. When bringing back a classic map, Treyarch has gone about it in two ways. The first being a straight port, with the weapons of said game replacing the old. See the World at War maps in Black Ops 1 and Zombie Chronicles in Black Ops 3. The second being remakes. New areas are added along with a new story and characters. See all of Black Ops 4's Aether maps. Blood of the Dead is a remake of Black Ops 2's Mob of the Dead, a map which takes place in a hellish version of San Francisco's Alcatraz prison. Mob of the Dead is a fantastic map, and it's often regarded as one of the best zombie maps Treyarch has ever made. That being said, Blood of the Dead had some big shoes to fill, and ultimately it fell flat on its face. But how? How could a remake of one of the best zombie maps ever be so bad? Why doesn't Blood of the Dead work? Well, I think I know why, and I'm gonna tell you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Blood of the Dead's gameplay problems can be broken down into two sections: map problems and gameplay problems. Going over map problems first, Blood of the Dead adds two new areas to Alcatraz, the West Side and the Warden's House. I like the West Side. It's cool to be able to explore Richtofen's lab, and I find the rest of the area fairly solid. Its main problem is how it's integrated into the original map. In Mob, you never left the prison outside of the small area on the Golden Gate Bridge, so how did they connect the new starting area to the prison? Well, they made a long narrow hallway, and it's just the most lazy piece of map design I've seen. It doesn't add anything interesting to the map, and it's tedious having to go back and forth on the most boring catwalk in existence. The other new area is the Warden's House, which connects to the Warden's office. It's really small, and it only exists to serve the map's terrible main quest. The new areas range from average to just pointless. Mob was already a big map, so adding even more to it makes it a hassle to travel, especially if you don't have stamina up. However, Treyarch knew the map would be a hassle to travel, so they added fast travel to the map, located in the cafeteria and the showers, connecting to the West Side and Warden's House respectively. On paper, this should make getting around the map easier, but it's just executed so poorly. It just takes way too long. I mean, compare it to the fast travel from Voyage of Despair, and you can see how bad it actually is. Fast travel is supposed to be fast, not watching the same 20-second cutscene over and over again just to get across the map. Also, the locations they picked are questionable. Connecting to the West Side makes sense because it's a good distance from the prison, but why connect the showers to the Warden's house when you can easily just walk there much quicker by going through the underground? Blood sorely needs at least one more fast travel location that connects to somewhere between the Citadel and the docks, because as of now, the only way to get there is to either walk it or get on the gondola. The fast travel in Blood doesn't offer much convenience to the player and makes the simple act of getting around unfun. Besides adding new locations, Blood removed some as well. The Golden Gate Bridge and most of the roof are now either gone completely or majorly cut down. The bridge was an iconic location from Mob of the Dead, and to not have it in Blood just feels wrong. Blood's gameplay problems are a bit of its own fault and a bit of BO4's fault. To explain, Blood has bad progression. You get access to everything way too fast, making the game become boring quickly. Add on to that Black Ops 4's perk system, and it just makes the problem worse. Having bad progression is an issue because the gameplay of zombies is entirely built around progression. Getting better weapons, getting better perks, getting Pack-a-Punch, etc. A good example of a map with perfect progression just happens to be Mob of the Dead. In Mob, you slowly make your way through the prison at your own pace, using Afterlife mode to power on more and more parts of the prison, which culminates in building the plane on the roof and getting the Pack-a-Punch. Getting the Pack-a-Punch in Mob is a cycle that forces the player to explore every part of the map, getting perks and plane pieces along the way. This process can't be rushed, and it gives Mob a great early game. Blood, however, is the complete opposite. By round 4, you can open up most of the prison, turn on both power switches, open up Pack-a-Punch, get a shield, and have 2/3 of the dog heads fed. And I'm not saying having a quick setup is bad, but when you take a map like Mob of the Dead and remove such key elements that defined what made playing it fun, you're left with a map that has none of its substance. I mean, there's no plane equivalent, and Afterlife is gone, sorta. So the map transformed from a highly complex one to a very basic one, and it just doesn't fit with the map. It's not what it was designed for. Some weapons were also removed. The Uzi, AK-47, and Death Machine are not in Blood, but at least the Thompson is still here, so I'll give it credit for that. Since Blood removed the Golden Gate Bridge, Pack-a-Punch is now located on the map itself, and it roams between 3 locations, which just adds to the getting around problem I talked about earlier. It doesn't help that there's no way to tell where Pack-a-Punch is on the map, so you just gotta run around and look for it, wasting your time. If it's not to the location you went to, well, looks like I have to go all the way across the map to go search the other 2. Honestly, they could have just kept Pack-a-Punch on the roof, and it would have worked. It's a place on the map that only has one entrance/exit. It's relatively small, so it offers a nice risk-reward, you know? Now, I know I said Afterlife wasn't in Blood of the Dead, and that's technically true, but it does return in some form thanks to the Spectral Shield. Unlike other shields in BO4, this shield can suck the souls of zombies and shoot a powerful blast of spectral energy. Also, you can look through the hole on the door to have a pseudo-Afterlife vision. In regular gameplay, this isn't used much since Blood has 2 power switches to turn on its perks. Spectral Vision is only really used to power the Pack-a-Punch and activate objectives for optional side quests. It's also heavily used in the main Easter egg, and I just hate it. The Spirit Blasts take too long to charge, and the shield gets destroyed really fast in BO4. So I hope you enjoy rebuying it over and over and over again. Lastly, I'd like to talk about Blood's wonder weapons. The Blundergat, Acid Gat, Hell's Retriever/Redeemer, and the Magma Gat, a new upgrade to the Blundergat. All of these weapons, barring the Magma Gat, are trash. The Blundergat is much weaker compared to its Black Ops 2 counterpart and can no longer shred through hordes of zombies. The Retriever is made obsolete because equipment like Wraithfire are just so much stronger than it, and because BO4 only lets you have 1 grenade slot, you can't have grenades and the Retriever at the same time. You have to pick one of the other, and that includes monkey bombs as well. So the Retriever is just outclassed by much better options. And the Acid Gat? Well, why don't I show you? Here's the Acid Gat in Black Ops 2.
Whatever you're thinking, it ain't gonna happen. Still alive? Good. I can watch you suffer. You gonna beg for mercy?
Now, here it is in Black Ops 4. As you can see, it's been nerfed pretty hard, and the self-damage for some reason has been cranked up to 11, making the weapon a liability. In reality, Treyarch just wants you to use the Magma Gat as it's just the Black Ops 2 Acid Gat, but red, which it's just an insult to the people who liked the Acid Gat, and not to mention, super lazy. I mean, at this point, why even have the Acid Gat if you're just gonna make it unusable? Overall, Blood of the Dead's reimagining of Alcatraz falls short. It failed to capture what made Mob of the Dead a fun and memorable map. The additional areas don't bring much in terms of gameplay. The lack of efficient fast travel makes getting around a boring experience. It's too shield reliant. Chasing Pack-a-Punch around the island sucks. The new Wonder Weapon is just a lazy reskin of something we've had before, and, most importantly, they removed everything that made playing Mob of the Dead unique while adding nothing interesting in return. And those are the reasons why Blood of the Dead doesn't work.